Well, Tom Cruise made a big impact on bartending and made a lot of people excited to start making cocktails, including this guy. You probably didn't know, but that movie is listed among the 100 most enjoyable bad movies ever made. I still watched it at least 200 times, and I even met with John Bendy, who trained Tom Cruise to flip bottles in that movie. He gave me this training DVD, priceless. Let me know in the comments if I should try to bring him over and talk more about how they were filming that movie. Well, today let's try kinda forgotten cocktails from the 80s.
The first scene in which a cocktail was made begins outside of the TGI Fridays at 1st Ave and 63rd Street in New York. And then Brian Flanagan walks inside, and this bar scene was filmed in Toronto, as was most of the movie. There isn't much about this drink that I find appealing, but it made multiple appearances in the movie, so let's make it right now. I will use a 16 ounces chilled mixing glass. Doug poured almost the entire beer into the glass, but the original recipe calls for just 4 ounces of beer, followed by 6 ounces of tomato juice and a pinch of salt and pepper, some hot sauce. I added my favorite hot sauce that makes anything taste better, and my least favorite ingredient, which I do not recommend adding to any of your cocktails, is a raw egg. Just crack the egg open and dump it into the drink. For the last ingredient in the movie, Doug added a couple of little white pills, which we could assume is just aspirin. This was the 80s in New York, and today there are better ways to cure a hangover, so I will skip this ingredient. And yeah, I'm a little surprised that Doug didn't die earlier in the movie from consuming red eyes with aspirin and raw eggs. Next is the most iconic flair bartending tandem show ever, when Doug and Brian make the Long Island iced tea. If you would like to see how to make a proper Long Island, you can check out this video here, but for today I will make it like they do in the movie. The last part is flawlessly bouncing shaker off the floor.
Alabama Slammer!
This episode wouldn't be completed without at least one cocktail from the infamous Last Barman poem. This took place at the fictional Cell Block nightclub, and in reality this is an old Don jail in Toronto. While the Alabama Slammer was not made in a movie cocktail, it still gained popularity after this movie made its audience curious about some of these cocktails they have never heard of before. It is believed that the Alabama Slammer was created as the shot in the 60s or 70s at the University of Alabama, and it has since been turned into a long drink, so there is one variation to the recipe. The long version of this drink is served in a highball glass, so let's start with that and fill it with ice. Add 1 ounce of vodka as the base liquor, which was not in the original shot recipe that includes Sloe Gin, Southern Comfort and Amaretto. Originally the shot was made with lemon juice, but at some point orange juice was also added to the long drink version. You can choose to stir or shake this cocktail, and the most common garnish is orange and cherry. We can't forget the moment when Gina Gershon first made her appearance as Brian Flanagan's first love interest in the movie. Brian began his relationship with Coral by making her a turquoise blue. This cocktail is in TGI Fridays drink manual, but it is served on the rocks in Collins glass. I'm going to mix mine as they did in a movie, starting with a mixing glass and adding 1.5 ounces of white rum, 1/2 ounce of triple sec and 1/4 ounce of blue curacao. I'm not certain Brian and Doug added the lemon juice to the cocktail, but that is in the recipe, so I will add 1/2 ounce of lemon juice to my turquoise blue to make it as accurate as possible. The last ingredient, I will add 1 ounce of pineapple juice. But unfortunately, I don't have that movie magic up my sleeve to stop the blue and yellow mixed ingredients from turning green, so I suppose we should call our turquoise blue turquoise green instead. And now that our drink is complete, we can pour it into a martini glass as they did in a movie. No need for a strainer here, because Tom Cruise can pour drinks however he wants. Yeah, he's Tom Cruise. Did you see that? Even Elizabeth Shue has some flair moves of her own. Now back to our cocktails. Yeah, the Cuba Libre is a simple drink to make.
Why didn't you just tell me it was a rum and coke?